Good morning, everyone. This week we're going to discuss the current sheriff's secondary job that ended after a very short period after it began. This is very important because it just goes on to expand from being present, like we talked about last week. The issues continues a pattern of questionable policies and practices by the current sheriff. You've got to remember everything emphasizes the totality of the circumstances, and we're building a lot of circumstances. So these behaviors reflect a pattern of poor attendance, decisions shaped by personal or political motives, questionable spending, self-interest, and a leadership style marked by retaliation. So lay the foundation a little bit. Back in 2022, the current sheriff told some of the staff at the sheriff's office that he was going to be employed by the FBI LEDA. LEDA stands for Law Enforcement Executive Development Association, as an instructor. He said he would be instructing a command leadership class in different parts of the country about once a month and would be gone for several days a month with the secondary employment. Now, how does that benefit the citizens of Winnebago County and the employees of the sheriff's office? It doesn't. I received the FBI LEDA Trilogy Award after completing the supervisory, executive, and command leadership courses. The reason why I bring this up is because I saw firsthand these classes were taught by highly experienced instructors and attended by seasoned law enforcement leaders from across the country. Given these considerations, it is unclear how the current sheriff would be able to instruct experienced law enforcement leaders from across the country, considering his limited professional background and experience in law enforcement. The current sheriff prepared for these classes in his office during regular business hours, utilizing Winnebago County resources such as laptops and personnel to assist with the preparation. FBI LEDA provided compensation to the sheriff for instructing these classes, in addition to his sheriff's office salary that Winnebago County was providing him, including reimbursement for related expenses. Additionally, Winnebago County personnel assisted the sheriff in completing the paperwork required for reimbursement for secondary employment here. So in May of 2023, I attended my last command leadership training in Rosemont, Illinois. I asked the instructor about Gary Carolina, formerly with the FBI LEDA. He confirmed knowing Gary and working with him, but said he no longer works there. So when I returned to work from this training, I noticed the sheriff was no longer discussing his secondary job or preparing for classes. When I asked him about it, he said it wasn't working out, so he stopped. I didn't go into it any further, and the topic seemed very sensitive for him. So after looking into it a little bit further, the chief operating officer at the FBI LEDA main office verified that Gary was employed there from December 22nd to April of 2023. The sheriff's brief employment at FBI LEDA appears to have been affected by his lack of experience in law enforcement profession. You can't bullshit people that know the profession. It's not okay for a full-time sheriff for Winnebago County to have secondary employment where he's traveling the country instead of being present to deal with the day-to-day issues in our own county. Not okay. So next week, we're going to examine the sheriff's use of taxpayer funds for attendance at the annual FBI LEDA conference in San Antonio, Texas in 2024, where he ran a campaign for an election for the sergeant-at-arms position of the FBI LEDA organization. This is ultimately a succession plan to get him to the presidency. You have to be sergeant-at-arms before you can be a president of the organization. Ultimately, his bid for the sergeant-at-arms position was not successful. I will maintain a consistent, engaged presence within both the community and the sheriff's office as a leader in law enforcement. My decisions will prioritize public safety across our communities without consideration for personal or political gain. Winnebago County deserves a law enforcement leader who is proactive, transparent, and focused on building safer, stronger communities for all of us. My background, training, and experience have given me the ability to make a difference in building a safer Winnebago County, not just for today, but for the next generation. With your support, I am ready to lead this change. I hope everybody enjoys their Sunday afternoon. Have a great week.